We're going to go through how to use the local task manager. So at the moment on the screen on the left hand side, I just have an example just to show roughly how it looks. And on the right hand side, I have the GitHub repo open for this particular app. So the local task manager is a lightweight Express.js application with a vanilla HTML, CSS and JavaScript front end that manages tasks, timers, can set calendar reminders and other productivity features all stored locally on your file system. To run it, you'll need Node.js installed, which provides the runtime environment to power the Express server that handles the task saving, data persistence, and all the API functionality locally on your machine. So just here on GitHub in the repo, you can see the README has quite a bit of detail there that goes through a bit more about this particular app. So a key thing here is a single focused task management application with an integrated timer system and analog clock view. Nice and simple app running locally on your machine. So if you wanted to install this and use it, what you want to do is go across to the GitHub repo and then click into the code. If you're familiar with Git, of course you can use git clone to clone the directory or the folders down to your local machine. For the purposes of this demo, we're just going to download the zip file. Zip file is going to download to your location on your system where you have it configured. Typically that's your downloads folder, and then what you want to do is unzip or extract that so that you have the files and the folder. Now depending on where you want or how you want to use your task manager app, it makes sense to drag this folder to somewhere on your machine that's a bit more persistent than your downloads folder. So if you typically clear your downloads, you don't want your task manager to be sitting there because the local files for your task will be stored inside this directory. So drag that to somewhere where it makes sense, whether it's in your documents folder or somewhere else under your file structure on your system. For this demo, we're just going to leave it here in the downloads folder just to make this nice and simple. The next thing you want to do is you want to go across and open up a terminal. So here I've got this terminal open up, and then you want to, and I'll move this across to the side just so we can see some of the README here. The README does have some instructions as well for setup. So what you want to do is on your terminal is you want to navigate to where you've got that folder. So if you've moved it, you want to navigate to where it is. In this instance, of course, it's still in the directory, so I'm change directory, and I'm just relative to the root. I'm going through just to my downloads, and I'll tab this to bring up my downloads folder. And if I was to just have a little look what's in there at the moment, that's where that folder is currently that we saw a moment ago. And what I want to do is actually change directory and go into that local task manager. And again, I just tabbed through to select what I was after there. And then I'm going to go ahead and now I'm inside that folder. So for me, it's in downloads and I'm inside the actual folder. Now, before proceeding with the next step of npm install, you do need to ensure that you have Node on your machine. If you've used Node before, you probably have it. If not, you can download Node from the official Node.js.org site. And Node is JavaScript that allows, it's a free open source cross-platform JavaScript runtime environment that allows developers to create servers, web apps, command line tools, and scripts. So this particular app uses Node. Just going back across, I'll bring that terminal up once again. So I've downloaded and installed Node on my machine. Now what I'm going to do is npm install. So npm install. I might just open this up a little bit just so it's a bit clearer as well. So npm install, and you can see that that's just installed currently the packages required inside this directory. So again, make sure you're inside the directory before you run npm install, but then that's going to use Node to install the Node modules that are required, the prerequisites for this particular project. Now the next step, step 3, You don't need to copy the template env file to a new env file unless you're going to use the Todoist sync feature. But if you're just going to use this locally on your machine, you don't need to worry about step 3. And then we're going to simply run the server. So npm run dev. And you can see here it started up the server. This one's running at localhost in the port 3004. Typically on your machine it'll probably be port 3000 unless you're running other servers. I've got other servers running on other ports, so that's why it's found an empty port to load. Like that, and Command C to copy, and then you would go in and paste that into your browser, into a new tab, and refresh and load that page. So at the moment, just to show, this is the first time this one's loading from this particular directory, and you can see it's detecting the UTC is the default time zone. It's detecting I'm in Australia, Sydney, so it wants me to update. So I can go ahead and update all tasks. Time zone has now been updated. And what I want to show you is how this setup works for your tasks. So just a quick look at the interface here. We can see the little prompt at the top here. We've got search, we've got some buttons for some actions. You saw briefly the clock function there. We'll go into that a little bit more in depth as well. You can see the current time is my current time. What I'd probably start to do initially is go into settings and make sure that it's showing correctly, which is that time zone that was detected a moment ago. And I'd probably go ahead and change that to the day, month, year format to match Australia as well. And for this demo as well, I might increase the font size slightly and go ahead and save those settings. And now we can create our first task. So if I click new, you can see the modal that pops up. It has all the information here. We'll create a very generic one. Let's say research info for project. Keep this really simple and generic. The due date, perhaps we'll use the calendar picker here, and we'll go ahead and let's say it's due on the 19th at 2 p.m. let's say. So just go through here, 2 p.m. Yep, 2 p.m. I want to get started on this, let's say today, straight away, and maybe I want to start this at 4 o'clock today, so 4 p.m. And planned duration for my research, let's say we'll leave it as an hour, but you can of course increment up and down there. And we'll put it as a medium priority. There's low, medium, high. We could put a project, we'll leave it empty at the moment. There's no other tasks in here, so we don't really need to put a project in. And you can put in some links if you want to have a link, so maybe a link to a project folder, or a link to a website, or a link to your Google Drive if that's where your files are stored. You can put quick links in there as well, and you can add some notes here as well. Let's just put down maybe something simple like research A, and let's just put down research B. Very generic. This is not a recurring task. It's just due on that one day, and I just want to do a bit of research. So it's not a calendar appointment. And the reminder would be usually if you were setting a calendar appointment. So go ahead and save that task. And we can see here what it looks like. So this is research info for project. We can see starting date. So that's looking like the Australian time date format that I picked a moment ago. You can see the due date as well and time. And if I just click onto that, it gives me those extra details. And this is where you would see the links as well. And I can go ahead and edit, nice and simple. If I need to, I can select done when the task is done. And if I want to time myself for working on it, I can select start. And then what that's going to do is allow me to actually start to track the time working on this task. There's also an option of a pomodoro. So if I wanted to, I could enable a pomodoro for a time. So let's say I want to spend 25 minutes now working on this. I could enable pomodoro. A pomodoro then will give me that countdown. It still will continue to track the time that I've been working on the task. It has a little bit of info up here as well for me to easily see. I can pause that pomodoro. I can stop the pomodoro. I can go back to editing my task if I need to change anything or add some more notes. And then when I'm done, I can of course select the done from here too. So what I might do is just stop the pomodoro on that one there. And you can see that some time has been tracked. If I was to open up clock mode at the same time, I can see here as today, that it's showing me a 24-hour clock, so through to right through the 24 hours on this analog clock. It has bars here, the bars or the circles, the outer circles represent priority. You can see that this is a medium priority. If I was to go ahead and update that one, let's say to a high priority, then it's going to show it here as a higher priority. So if you have multiple tasks showing, it gives you a sense of what's high priority and also any overlaps. The internal area here is used for calendar appointments. We'll see a bit more of this as well, and also for any routines that you set, which can go into as well. But currently we see we're on today. There is also the option to look up to 2 days in advance on the calendar view. And you can see that's if I click this, it will give me information about what this currently is. This is research info for high priority. If you noticed up here as well, when I clicked that, it did temporarily highlight which one it is. So if you've got a few tasks in there, and then went back to its priority version there as well. So it gives me a bit of information about what that is when I'm looking at the calendar view, and I can click just out of there to close that out. So that's the clock view in very briefly. This is the task view very briefly as well. What we need to do here is to actually see a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into settings, and I'm going to go into the backup section. So the backup section allows you to export a complete backup, which is recommended to do that from time to time, so that you always have a good copy of your tasks. But also allows you to import a full backup if you need to do a full replacement at any point in time. So if you do an export and then you need to go back to a previous state, you could import that and do a full replacement. But it also allows you to import tasks. So what I'm going to do is now import some tasks. So let me click the import tasks. There's a demo one here to show, so a demo import. Let me go ahead, and you can also import this yourself if you want to see what it looks like when you install. We'll go ahead and open, and you can see here it's telling me what's in that JSON file. Now, if you just a little tip here, if you are looking to do the import. If you have a project, for example, coming up and you've got a whole lot of tasks that you want to import in one go rather than adding them manually, there is some information here in an import schema, which you can give this page to an LLM chatbot and ask it to help you generate the applicable JSON, or you can format it yourself as well if you prefer to do it manually. But you can certainly use this with, speed it up with a bit of AI there as well. So that's what this one is here, ready to go. It's showing what's going to be imported to high, to medium. Let's go ahead and import these tasks. And we can see here now that it didn't remove my existing tasks. It has added the new ones, which are project label of website redesign. It's given me some dates. You can see here if I click into this one with the bell as an example, this is a calendar appointment. So it's got a 30-minute reminder before the calendar. And that's showing by the calendar, and so each of these is if we go in and edit, we can see each of these is website redesign project, and of course these can be clicked to see more details inside, and of course you can toggle those to close those up as well. And now if I look at the calendar look at the clock. And I'm just going to go ahead and refresh the screen here, but we can see this one here for today. This is a research info for project. If I go to tomorrow, I'm not seeing anything here. If I go through to Thursday, Feb 19th, I'm not seeing anything on the calendar here either. That's because this one here is the 20th. So this is not till the day after, and this one doesn't actually have a time on it. So let's just put a due time on this. Let's go with 1 p.m. and let's save. And so we can see now here, this is the 1 p.m. One, which is this one. Which one is it? This one, sorry. And just again to just show here, we can see a planned start time of 1 o'clock. We can see a due time of 1 o'clock. Because this has a planned start time, it should show that as well. So let's have a look at this one. So this is a due time, yes, planned start time. And this one, wireframes for tomorrow, let's have a look. This one doesn't have any time available. So just a little note on that one. If there is, and we can just explain this by editing, we'll edit this one. So we can see here it has a due time and it has a planned start time. So if I was to get rid of the planned start time and save, we can see here it's showing just a due time of 1 PM on the 19th. So that's the due time. If I was to go ahead and let's say that I actually wanted to start working on this the day before, so planned start date the 18th, and let's change it to 12 PM. And so you can see here now the due date remains the same, but I've set planned start time the day before at 12 PM. Perhaps I want to work on it for 45 minutes and save the task. So now you can see that just to go back in and show it again, on the 19th it's due at 1 o'clock, but we're starting on the 18th at 12 PM. So tomorrow, the 18th at 12 PM, there you can see it shows. So on the clock it will default to the due time, but if you put in a planned starting time, instead it will show that, because that's the time you're actually starting to work on the task. So that's a bit of a demo there on how the tasks work. It's one of those a setup where you typically are looking at tasks as individual tasks, so it doesn't have subtasks. It doesn't have a project structure where you have a lot of tasks under it. It's set up in a way to be a simple task manager where from day to day you can see what you're working on and make sure that you're tracking your time using a pomodoro if that helps, but also getting a bit of a sense of what is upcoming for today, tomorrow and the next day. So a simplified task manager setup process. So that's importing the demo file. If we were to have a little look here at the routine allows you to have things that you may be doing on a daily basis. So these routines may be something, and there's different ways you can approach this particular thing. If you like to start your working day and you want to check your calendar, your Asana, your email, your Slack DMs, and your Slack channels, you can set it up so it's a nice simple checkbox just for that each day as you're going through to help you remember to do all the things that you want to do. But the routine can be a little bit more powerful as well. If you go into settings and choose daily routine, what you can do is you can add additional things there too. So for example, let's say that you go to the gym on Monday to Friday, and let's say you go to the gym at 12 PM, maybe it's across your lunch break, and you go for let's say 75 minutes, and I will save that setting. Now you can see, and we'll go back to today, you can see just highlighted here on the clock, there's your gym time. So you can see, and also clickable, you can see there is your routine. So if you have certain routines around the different hours of the day, that can also be useful so that you can see how much you're stacking, what sort of work you're stacking across that time, what might overlap. And of course that will go through for each day that you've set that routine. So the routine can be useful for display on the clock so that you can see what you're working on and how it overlaps. But the routine can also be useful on a daily basis if you want to just have a checklist of things that you're working through as well. Going across to settings, so we saw briefly the time zone, choosing the date format, Font size, the streak counter. So the streak counter is when you are clicking through. So let's simulate this. If you were to mark this one as done, you can see you're 1 of 3 for a streak of tasks completed. Let's say you completed this task today as well. After we did some time and we just select done, you can see now 2 of 3 tasks. Let's say we click and we complete this task as well, and we see we have 3 of 3, and we have a little streak occurring here. You don't have to have the streaks there if they are a little annoying. You can certainly turn off the streak counter, and let's save that setting. You can see at the top here, if I was to go back down to here, and let's say I restore one of these ones, and I'll restore this one as well, and I'll restore this one as well. And if I was to go through and mark done, you can see you get a little bit of a little prompt here that tells you, okay, what you actually just did. You just completed a task. If I was to edit this one, let's change this to 5 p.m. and save task. You can see the task updated. So there's a little, just a little kind of like history prompt for the last action that you took there as well. This is customizable too for your prompt if you like to change it to something else. As an example, it could be David at let's say maybe my work is creative 10, let's say. So you can change that prompt if you want a little bit of customization there. Going through, you saw the routines. Going to cleanup. So the cleanup is the moving of tasks, so that this doesn't, once you mark tasks off, this is that little bit of history, so you're able to easily restore if you want to, or look what you've been working through. But if you ever want to clean that up, you can as well. And your settings for how many days retained is there. Backup, that's where you can export a backup and import a backup, or import tasks if you're using an AI to assist you with creating tasks in bulk with JSON using that format. Yeah, so that's a bit of a quick run through on the local task manager. So one last tip, your task data lives in the local data folder. So if I was to grab Finder again and just show in here, so if you were to go up and have a look, you can see this is the local data for the tasks is all stored here in this local folder. Now, it's probably a good idea to either have that local data, perhaps your local task manager directory, synced to the cloud, so whether that's to iCloud or Dropbox or something else, to make sure that you have that. Alternatively, you can use the export function and simply download an export of your tasks and your settings, and then save those to the cloud. So you can just make sure that you sync that to the cloud, so you always have a copy. It's good to keep your data safe, although it's being stored locally within that folder. Of course, in future, if you were to update anything or to lose access to a folder by deleting it by accident, for example, it's good to have a backup. So that's one last tip. Just always protect your data, have a backup, try and sync that folder if you can as well. Hopefully you're able to get some use out of this task manager.